Okay, so tonight's conversation is about, are we ready for a relationship? I think that is something that we don't really think about when pursuing um, a relationship. And then sometimes, do you have to be ready? Like, we necessarily don't really have to be ready to actually get into a relationship. It can just something happen, or it just the right vibe, and you're like, okay, this is a good relationship to go into. So I don't think we necessarily need to be in a relationship or be ready for one. But I do want to talk about this. Hello, Wilson. I see you out there. Thank you for joining. Um, I guess I would like to start it off by saying, like, are we ready to be vulnerable? I think when people think about relationships, they don't think about necessarily being ready to be vulnerable. And they tend to like hide a lot of things, especially when you're first starting out dating. You tend to put your best face forward and you try to be like, okay, I am this image that I'm trying to give you, but then you're not willing to actually open up until like after testing out the water and seeing how the person is. Um, for instance, when my dating experiences, I noticed that I've come across people who at first try to put up this barrier, but then when they realize that I'm totally like I'm genuine, like I'm not gonna try. I try not to, because I'm like, when you start trying to put up something that you're not, then it's kind of hard to maintain that image. So I tend to get people to open up to me really quickly. Like, I've had people tell me that they, had depression, or they suffer from a mental illness, or they were going through something. And I really appreciate that, because I want that genuine, authentic, just willing to be honest. But then sometimes we get people who want to be like, oh, I really like this girl, so I'm going to lie to her because she's cute. And then you lie to her, and then you get upset because she's not willing to date you, or not willing to go any further with the relationship. I'm like, well, you lied to me, so why should I? And I also come across people who weren't ready to be in a relationship, but were still willing to talk to women, which is a little bit alarming, because, like, why are you talking to women or talking to me if you're not really ready to like go the next step and pursue a relationship? Really interesting. Or another thing, not really willing to be vulnerable, afraid of it. Like, I had one stud who was like really, really afraid to be intimate with me, because but she was willing to tell me all these things about her family. But when it came to actually asking, how are you? Like, Jim, how are you? How are you feeling at this very moment? It was always like clamor up. And I guess because we all have experiences being heartbroken, or maybe we're just broken, like, and we don't want anyone to get close to us because we're afraid there's going to be more of the same. But then you kind of have to take that risk and open up, because if you don't, you might risk losing whom that true love, that one is supposed to be your wife, because you're clamoring up, like, I don't want to tell you anything. I just want to be around you, be near you, and listen to you, but I don't want to give myself to you because I'm afraid. You gotta let those barriers down. You have to let those barriers come down when dating. So you have to have that intimacy, that vulnerability, that communication. Like, you kind of have to open up. And in my experiences, I feel as though I've had more duds than good studs. So, and then I'm actually looking into like dating films. Like, I know people are like, what, a film? Yeah, because I feel as though, I mean, I don't mind. I like both. Like, I like knowing that I'm with a woman, regardless of what she has on. But I do like films. I'm not gonna lie, and I do like studs. So I'm like, I like them both. But I noticed that films are more willing to open up, more so than studs, and that's because they have like this reputation where they have to be hard. And I talked to a femme actually recently, and she's like, "Oh, I only date studs. Like, my stud has to be hard as everything." And I was like, "That's her personal preference. But for me, I prefer my studs to be hard, but also vulnerable. Like, if you're gonna be a lesbian, because that's what we all are, you still are feminine. You still have that monthly thing that reminds you that, hey, I have a uterus. So I don't need you to be hard all the time. I need you to like be open with me. And there was a stud that I was really interested in, but now I've kind of gotten over it. It took a long time to get over it. But now that now that I see my greatness, I see who I am, I see my worth, I'm over it. But one of the issues that we had was she wasn't willing to be open or intimate. Like I would text her, and we never ever had sex. I would text her and like, come over, come home, like come over to my house, let's just chill and just be intimate. And I would ask her for intimacy, and she would always text back like, oh, I don't think it's a good idea, or I should just go home. And then I kept asking, pushing and pushing and pushing, and then finally I realized that, hey Quay, it wasn't that she wasn't afraid of being in a relationship. She was more so being afraid of being vulnerable. And that was because I found out later on that it turns out that she's had been engaged to someone, and the person actually left them at the altar. That's kind of deep. Like having been in a relationship and you think everything is going right, and then you get to the moment where you're about to tie the knot, and then you're walking down the aisle, and then you're waiting for your bride to come, and then she just left you. So I can understand that now. That's coming from a hurt. But at the same time, you can't let somebody else's mistakes stop you from having your happiness or giving another person the chance. Because when you do that, you start blocking your blessings with a possible good relationship. So that kind of made me think differently, because I guess when I thought, well, then again, I really wasn't invested in my relationships when I was straight. I actually was engaged to be married. That's a whole nother story. But so I guess we need to be more open, like opening ourselves up, and also being aware of warning signs. Like there are clear, definite warning signs when we're dating somebody, but sometimes we kind of like excuse them because we really like the person, or we really like what they look like. So we don't take the time or initiative to actually, be like, okay, this is wrong. But then you shouldn't be like, oh, she did this. She lied about, coming to my house, so I'm not going to talk to her anymore. So she lied one time. You don't know why she might have lied. You need to ask probing questions and figure out why she's covering up. And then if you find out that she lied to not coming to your house because she was cheating with Jamie down the street, then you need to get rid of her, because obviously she's not loyal. So you have to be an investigator when you're dating. You have to investigate the person that you're trying to get to know while dating. And we also have to be ready with ourselves, knowing who we are and what we want. You can't go in it blindside like, oh, I'm dating somebody because I'm lonely or because I'm horny. You do that, you're not going to find what can be, because you're going off something that's superficial, that's so small. Like sex is easy. Being alone, go out. You can go out and be with somebody and not be alone. You don't necessarily have to have someone because you're lonely. Don't date somebody because you're lonely, because then you're in it for the wrong person, the wrong reason, and probably will meet the wrong person. Let's just say it. Welcome, Shay. Hello. So I think another thing that we're afraid of is like, what is intimacy? Like, I think people think intimacy is always sexual. Intimacy is actually the process of getting to know somebody, like going through experiences and actually taking the time to bond. Like all of these things are a part of the relationship. Oh my God, we have so many people. Honey Poo, Tasha, hello, welcome. So that's another thing. Intimacy is like, I think I was right. It was like, it deals with a lot with like interpersonal relationship with yourself, and then dealing with taking experiences, like going through something like the small. Oh, well, I guess it popped back on. What happened there? That's interesting. Anyway, so like I like that we had Tamika today. She posted a photo about going on a picnic, and I thought that was brilliant because a lot of times when you go into a relationship and you're first dating them and you go to a restaurant, you are kind of like straining to hear the person because it's a lot going on, a lot of conversations. You got waiters, you got all this, just a lot of going on. But going to a park or someone's backyard, or just getting out and somewhere quiet where you can actually sit down and interact with one another and hear what the person has to say. And then also it makes it more intimate because now you don't have all those distractions. Like you can actually focus in on the person. And I think that's really cool. So I definitely like hands up, like thumbs up to me, because that was a great post today, which draws into like ways of being intimate while trying to date someone. So that's another thing that you can do. Or I know people say Netflix and chill, but sometimes Netflix and chill ends up being sex. Not all the time. Like sometimes you could just really just have Netflix and chill, have a really good dinner, like before you even get the movie going, like have a good dinner, like get all of those, or have like an exercise. Like, how you're first dating somebody and you just like the first time you're meeting them and you're like first time at their house, play like a game, like just to relax and like make the person feel comfortable. And then once you actually start doing it, like getting to know one another, you can go on like the meal and then watching a film together. Like there's so many ways to be intimate while dating without having to have the commotions of like, oh, you have to spend $50 on me because that's the type of girl I am. Nah, you ain't gotta be like that. Like a relationship, you don't have to put a price tag on love. Put a price tag on love, it's not gonna be real. It takes work. So what has y'all's experiences been with dating? Like, do you find yourself being like afraid of intimacy? Like, what's your experience? Why doesn't this thing scroll down? Okay. Oh, intimacy to me is affection. Shay says intimacy to me is affection, love, just everyday caring. Exactly. Yes. Small things. Quay, I posted a photo about the picnic. Oh, I'm sorry, Quay. I gave it to Tamika. I am so sorry, Quay. Yeah, you're right. You did post that. That was thumbs up, Quay. I'm sorry. Yes, conversations and chill. I like that. Netflix and chill do not always end up with sex. Two adults can watch a movie without fucking. Yes, it should be that way. Absolutely. Unfortunately, I still am waiting for my Netflix and chill. So I'm still waiting. Like I never actually got that far. But yeah, we'll see. Another thing that we can do to be intimate, walking the mall or like going to the bookstore, like, or a cafe or a lounge. Like those tend to be a little bit more quiet, like a quiet atmosphere, or a museum or an art museum, like those places where you have to be quiet. That's another way to see how someone's going to respond or react. But I have come across studs and people who just are afraid to open up. And I don't know why people are so afraid of opening up. Like you shouldn't be afraid. Like when you're trying to date someone, that is the whole purpose. Like is sitting down and being able to communicate, because I need to know, like, if this relationship will go far and we get in a position where we have a house, but let's say you lose your job and I have to pick up the bills. And I need to make sure that, even though I'm picking up the slack, that you're still going to go out there and be on your grind, not be like, oh, babe, I can't find a job. I'm so depressed. I'm just going to sit on this couch. Like, I'm just so depressed. No, we're going to sit here together. Like, let me see your resume. Let me help you out. Let me see what I can do to help you build. Like, so you need to have that intimacy, that vulnerability, so that the person who you're with is going to be your ride or die. Like, I do believe we had another member post about, her girlfriend leaving her because she was taking care of her at one point. Like, you can't do that. Like you can't do that. That lets me know that you're not ready to be in a relationship. If you're not willing to be with me in the hard times, you need to be there at all times in all aspects of the relationship. Why doesn't this thing scroll down so I can see what people are saying? Okay. So intimacy is better than sex, to be honest. It is. Best friend, you are not being single forever. LOL. Yes, I am. You think I am playing my best friend? I'm good, beloved, enjoyed. Well, I am 6 years in a relationship, Shay, and in the beginning, it was the small things that was actually awesome. Honestly, now I live the small things like date night, chill, and see the sunset. Yes, seeing the sunset together can be fun. Dee, I'm in a relationship with myself. At this point, that's where I'm at. I'm in a relationship with myself. And actually, that's a good thing, because when you are in a relationship with yourself, you start knowing what you want and what you're willing to put up with. You're not willing to put up with the bullshit, because you know who you are and you know what you want. So you will start paying attention to those signs a lot quicker when you're looking to start dating. However, when we start dating, please do not be dating multiple people, because it's really hard to actually invest in 7 people while dating, because you got 7 different people and you probably got to lie about what you're doing to date them 7 people. So you're not really investing in the person. So let the person know. But that's kind of hard to do, because you know, if you let someone know that you talking to 7 other people, they're gonna let your ass go. So but for real, because I definitely would. I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, you're talking to me and someone else. This is my first time on live and commenting, and I love it. Oh, thank you, Shay. I love outdoor and indoor picnics, deep conversations. Quay, small, cute, thoughtful things are important. Exactly, Wilson. You guys do matchmaker post, age, city, preference. We should definitely do that. Gracia, amor. Thank you, love. Oh, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. Thank you, Quay. Get on that. Find a cute picture that will actually match it if you can. That would be awesome. Another thing, while trying to start a relationship, I have someone tell me that you have to be financially ready. Actually, you don't. You don't have to be financially ready to be in the relationship. I just think you need to be honest. Well, not really not be honest, because sometimes you get people who are super, well, actually maybe being superficial. Maybe you should be that way so you can see whether or not how the person is going to respond. But I actually had a stud tell me that she was like, oh, you know, I just got my first apartment. I just moved out of my house with my for my mother, and she was in her, I want to say, 30s. And I didn't judge her at that point, because I thought that was real. You're telling me your situation, which means you're thinking about building. And I like that, because you're like, okay, I'm not financially stable. I'm not where I want to be, but I know I can get there. And I like that, because I know you're motivated to get where you need to be in life. That's pretty cool. So sometimes it can work in your favor after like filling out the person. You can be honest about your financial situation. Other times it might not be the right thing to do. Like, see if the person is like really vibing you first, and then be like, hey, you know, I think that works out. But at the same time, I don't think finance should be a number one thing that you talk about when you're first starting to get to know someone. Also, I think bringing up your childhood is very important when dating someone, because a lot of grown ass folks, I have not completely forgot what happened to them when they were 5 years old. Like that shit has resonated with them. They're making bad decisions because something traumatic happened in they past. So definitely bringing up those past relationships, those past childhood experiences, all of that needs to be out in the open when first trying to date somebody. Quay, very true. You can build together. And I know many successful relationships that started where they both were broke and built up to the top together. That's real true love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I think it's even more endearing, because we were together when we couldn't afford to eat nothing but ramen noodles and toast. Like that's how long we were together. And now, we're sitting down and we having steak and potatoes. That's beautiful. Like that's a great relationship. But not a lot of people want to do that. Shay, What about couples who have kids prior to getting together and are looking for other couples with kids to socialize with? That's deep. Okay, so I don't have any kids. Shay, I don't have no kids, but that's a good question. I'm gonna have to do some research on that because I know some people aren't willing to date someone who has children. But I guess I wonder if is there like a platform. I guess we can make this a platform for people if they have children and are looking for other women who want children, because that is a big difference, when a big deal when you have a child and you're trying to date. Because as Quay posted earlier, there was a post about what if the kid doesn't like, like the mother or like you, and are you still willing to go through with the dating? Well, naturally, depending if you had a divorce in a past relationship, kids kind of get attached to their the parent that was there from day one, that they know was a part of it, so they kind of tend to act up. I talk about the child. Ask a lot of questions. Yeah. Oh my God, why is this thing so slow? Anyway, that's definitely a real situation with dating with children. I actually don't date if they have kids. That's because I don't have any children, but I shouldn't be that way considering I was raised by my step grandmother. So, and she doesn't have any children and will tell me I never wanted to be a mother. And that's real. I think a woman who could tell me that she never wanted to be a mother and then was able to actually raise me, I have mad respect for that woman, because a lot of people are willing to say they're not ready to be a parent. Some people would be like, well, I wasn't really thinking. I just got pregnant by this guy because, I liked him. And then they have a kid and then they don't really raise the kid because they weren't really meant to be a parent. So that's absolutely true. I'm trying to get on. My comments things are slow, by the way. So if you're commenting, it's taking a long for it to process. But thanks, Shay. I'm trying. Another thing to think about is mental illnesses. Like, personally, if they bipolar, I've never dated someone who was bipolar, and I'm scared because I have come across a lot of studs who are heartbroken and got mad rage because they dated somebody who was bipolar, and it just like broke their hearts. And I've not come across that. I have come across depression. Depression is a little bit different because it's mostly like someone dealing with like having trigger moments that makes them sad. And that's when you kind of have to comfort them. Like, it's more so it's a calming that you have to have that calming spirit, versus someone who's like bipolar, like one minute they happy, the next minute they somebody else. Like, I've never been in that situation. I probably wouldn't want to put myself in that situation, but sometimes people aren't honest about those issues that we have. So it's hard, but I'm not going to necessarily put them down, because I think everybody needs to find love in this world. So, and everyone has somebody. You just got to be willing and open to get that. Just saying. Shay, it's hard dating people with kids. This is coming from someone who had kids prior to their relationship, and someone who had dated someone and someone who has dated someone won't want a child. Don't want a child, you mean? Like, they don't want a child? I mean, I guess if I don't personally date them because it's a lot going in, because I don't want to deal with the baby mama or the baby daddy. And that's the reason why I don't date with kids, because like I'm worried that the parent's going to be involved, and that's a whole other drama that I'm going to have to worry about. So that's why I don't do it. But perhaps I might meet somebody who has kids who might trigger my interest, and I'll be like willing to let that rule go. But it's not like a set in stone, oh, I would never date anyone who has kids. No, I do allow, I think we all allow like small things. We let things pass because we like the person. It's just the person. Quay. Yes, dating someone who is bipolar is a very hard thing. I was with a bipolar woman for 6 years. Mental illness is very real. Yeah, we need to do something about that. Like, we need to do a video about that. Okay. With the child. Okay. Sorry. I don't know. Like, I've never been in this position with a bipolar, but I have been with people people who were like, oh, I'm suffering from depression, or I have ADHD. Those are things like, I'm like, okay, that's okay. But I'm bipolar. I'm a little bit scared about that because you can flip on a dime. And my mom, she wasn't bipolar, but she had epilepsy. And epilepsy, after you have a seizure, sometimes you might not, your brain waves might not actually go right back, and you don't know who you are. Like my mom, one point, I remember it was right after Christmas, and she had a seizure, and I had to go to school in the morning, and I know I didn't have to get up until like 7 o'clock because school started at 8. But mom woke up at 5, and she's like, I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready. And all of a sudden she's putting on a really short dress with these stockings. Like she looked like a hoochie mama. And I was like, I'm laughing at the time because I'm like, this is not my mom. And I was too young to actually recognize. I knew she had a seizure though, but I was like, I think she had a seizure. So I knew to call my dad, and my dad immediately came down and was just like, yeah, you ain't going to work and you ain't going to school. So, and he knew what to do. But my mom, yeah. So I would be willing to date some. I guess I would, because I really love my mom, and I can think about that. That's how I can relate it. I feel depression is within a lot of people. You're absolutely right, Shay. It is. Most people they're not willing to admit it because they take it as a sign of weakness. But I think it's actually strong of you to admit when you have something that's supposedly quote unquote a weakness, because you got so much people giving you shit about it or telling you not right. Hey, Monica. So I definitely truly agree that I think people should give people a chance, because it's not a weakness. It's strength. I'm taking care of this illness that I have, and I'm willing to tell people about it. I'm trying to get over it, and I'm willing to get to where I need to be. It's just we get with people who aren't really willing to take us. They like, oh, they have this stigmatism that, oh, depression is, oh, you don't want to do, you're lazy, you have this problem, you're just sad, you just need to be happy. It's not that easy because it could be something that they were raped, or it could just be like it's a chemical imbalance in their head. Like there's different forms of depression. Bipolar, I gotta do some research on because I have never met someone who was bipolar, but I had schizophrenia. I've had that, but that is a form of bipolar, I do believe. Not Shay, it's Sha. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sha. All right, okay, I'm gonna get this right. So I think intimacy is just being truthful and being open and being honest about yourself, and willing to communicate and go through with another person. Like you're opening up and you're sharing your life. And I think a lot of people get afraid of having that vulnerability because they don't want to give anyone the power, because I think they're going to abuse it and or hurt them. So we have our barriers up to protect ourselves. And I think with dating, you should have it should be like playing a game. You know how when you're playing a game, you have to go through all these different challenges. And then as you get through the game, they give you like tidbits and then you get like points. I think that's how dating should be. Like you should have levels into the relationship. And yeah, it is hard. It's extremely hard. Dating is hard. I'm still single, and it's been hard for me. And I'm trying, but I just realized that I'm looking for something that's different. Like I want something that's real. Like I want to know that you're in my corner, that you're gonna, text, call, let me know. Like I need that. Like I'm gonna be honest, I'm freaking needy when it comes to being in love. And that's because I want to know that when hard times come down, when we're in a relationship, that you're gonna be there. You're not gonna just walk away and go ghost on me. Like I was talking to another femme friend today. She has a kid and she's been trying to date studs, and she's the one who's like, I don't want to date studs. But it's crazy. Like you can't just only date studs. You have to be willing to date everyone, because you just never know what can be in your corner, who can be in your corner. Anywho, she never wanted to do it, but she was talking about how the stuff that she was previous with, she had been talking to them for like 2 months, been on several dates, everything was going good. We were talking about, possibly making it a for sure thing. And then 2 days later, she went ghost. And then she's like, it's been a week now and I still haven't seen her, but she's on Facebook posting. And I was just like, posting what? So you got those people who just like, oh, if you find somebody else while dating, be honest. Don't just be like, I'm gonna ghost on your ass because I found somebody who's better. Don't do that, because you leave the person questioning and doubt and wondering, and it kind of hurts people's confidence. And you don't want to be out here hurting people's confidence, because that's not cool. It's not cute. It's not friendly. It doesn't make you a good person. So just be honest. I don't care. Because now she's sitting back wondering like, well, what did I do? What did I do? And we're like, it's not you. It's them. And I don't want you to get hurt, because you better than that. If this person's not willing to tell you and be honest about it, then why are you worried about it? Another thing is to be open. And open just doesn't mean like, okay, I'm just telling you all these random things. Be open as in like, hey, when I was 5, my dad, he touched me. Or, hey, those things matter. Those things, it lets me know, like, you might have like, why don't she ever want me to hug her? Like, why can't I hug her? Why can't I touch her? Why, small things you wonder, you're like, okay, this person is pulling away from me and I don't know why. Those things you need to let someone know, because now they know how to readjust. And it's like, because I'm a very cuddly person. And if I'm trying to hug you and you pull away from me, I'm gonna think, oh, do I stink? I'm a first thing is me. And then I'm gonna start asking other questions. And then once I find out like, oh, you had something that happened to you that was traumatic. Okay, so now I need to readjust my stuff, and I need to know that, okay, even though I'm a very cuddly person, touchy-feely, I gotta pull away, and then I gotta ask to make sure you're in the mood for it. So that's another reason why you gotta be open, because I can't read your mind. No one knows what's going on in each other's mind. Like, we could, I think it would be a lot easier, and then we probably realize that a lot of us are crazy. I'm sorry to say this, everybody got a little bit of something about them. But yeah, I'm glad you love this group. Thank you for the compliments. I'm kind of shy, so when it comes to that, it's just taking a lot of work. Another thing, intimacy just means experience. It means going through something. So you have to be in a relationship long enough to go through things, to see each other in all aspects of life. Like, I need to see you when the waitress don't get your order right. I need to see you when you're under pressure at work. I need to see you when, okay, the car breaks down. I need to see you in all aspects of life to see how you're going to respond, because I need to know, like, what happens with the bills are due and we ain't got it. I need to know you're not going to just like up and leave. I need to make sure you're going to have some type of solutions, because that's what it's about. Seriously. Okay, it is 33 minutes. I don't know how long it's supposed to be, but I'm getting ready to play The Sims. I am so glad you guys joined. I think I want to do another video on intimacy. I think we should like really delving deep into what intimacy is. Maybe we should have like an intimacy series. So I'm gonna do some research. I want you guys to respond and let me know, what do you think about what our next conversation should be. Today is my Friday, so I'm technically off for the next 2 days. Unlike most people, they get Saturday and Sunday off. No, I am working those days. Such is the life as a stylist. But I'm so glad everyone tuned in. Thank you. I love you. Oh, why are you mad and angry and all these emotions? Even though I want to play The Sims. I don't understand. I'm like addicted to The Sims. I know people play on their phone, but I actually have the 4 on my computer, and I'm actually trying to get my 2 filmed and my studs. I have like 2 households going to have a stud and a stud, 2 films and a films, and then I have like a stud and a film in like 4 different households, and I've had like a little community going on. So that's my thing that I like to do. But I love you guys. I am such a nerd. This is my social life. Love you guys. Stay posted, stay happy, stay motivated with life. Don't ever give up. Don't let no one ever put you down, because Naysayers are just jealous. They see a light within you and they want to hold it and contain it, and they want to stop it and suppress it. So don't let them do it. Whatever you want to do in life, push for it. Push hard for it. Stay motivated. I love you. Good night.